Here's why you are still single. Here's why you're still single and you're saved, sanctified, full of grace, and you're still single and the years are passing by and you're still sitting there watching everybody else get married and you not chosen. The issue that is not being addressed is the deep, dark, secret things that makes you feel unworthy that is being broadcast. Now, the thing that affects us are the unseen. You see, everything was created in the spirit realm before it comes into the earth. So, in order to change spiritual things, you gotta change it in the spirit. You gotta learn how to work in the spirit realm and bring it into the flesh to make it manifest into the flesh. Now, singleness has been something that targets everybody. We have all been single because we never came out of the womb with our partner, even though it may seem like some people just born with a partner and they latch on from childhood until they get married. But some of us, like myself, had to grow, had to evolve, and had to learn a lot of lessons. And so this is why I'm passionate about helping every single person who desire to be in a relationship to find their love. And I will do whatever I can to help. And so that's why on my channel, I share so much insight on how to move from singlehood into attracting and creating and being found by your love. Now, my story, as you all know, I'm from Jamaica originally, and I moved all the way to Hawaii to meet my husband. Now, it wasn't a straight shot. It was like I did a lot of stopovers on the mainland in the US, went to school in Ohio and I lived in Chicago. But it was listening to the guidance of God when I asked to be married. Because here's one of the key things that we're missing. You got to ask. God does not impose his will on you. So you may have the desire in your heart to be in a relationship. You may have the desire to be married. You have to ask. If you don't ask, you don't receive. And so you gotta get intentional. And I know for a fact in my work with a lot of women that some of them just are hoping that it would happen, that they're hoping that they would get chosen. They're hoping that the relationship that they have will materialize into marriage. And I've always asked, what do you want? Do you want to be a wife or do you want to be a girlfriend? And if you choose to be a girlfriend, it is okay. But know that if you enter the relationship letting him know that you are going to be a girlfriend and that's all you want, you may never end up being a wife. Because then the man is like, okay, this is what I can give her because this is what she asked for, and he thinks everything is fine. You see, men are so easy and simple and lovable and delicious and amazing, but we make it complicated. Because when you tell him what you want and you stick by it, by your actions, he will either level up or he will disappear. But as women, we tend to see the good and see the possibilities, and we're so kind and giving, and weight. We overweight because we're thinking one day he's going to wake up and decide and see us and accept us and choose us. Now, how do you change from being single to attracting the love? The first thing you're going to do is to establish what is love. What does love mean to you? Because love is different to many people. There are women who think, and men, that if they're not being physically abused, that the person doesn't love them. And that is, you're thinking to yourself, that can't be real. But if you've worked with women who went through trauma, you will learn there are women who think that being physically abused is a sign of love. Now, here's the thing. If they grew up in a household where they were physically abused, then that is embedded in that person, that woman, that, oh, love means I also get beat. And so when you are mature and you have a relationship, you may have a man who is kind and gentle and sweet, yet you do things to bring out, to trigger the response of being beaten. Because you will think that you're not being loved because you're programmed that way. So I want you to do some deep work. And whenever, people work with me, there's all you gotta do your part, because I can only impart what spirit shows me, and you also gotta do your part. It is a two-way journey, but I help you with accountability and also help you in the spirit realm to move things through. As a shamanic life coach, I help you clear spiritual and energetic entanglement so that you're empowered to embody, receive, and manifest your dreams. Okay? So when you decide, if you've been waiting and it's not happening, let's talk about love. How, what does love mean to you? What does it look like to be in a loving relationship? Because also, the man is coming in with his version of love. And so, if there are two people who don't have the same understanding of what love should look like, because love is not just a feeling, it is also an action word, then you may think you're incompatible when it's something that is in the natural that needs to be fixed. Because our soul brings to us what we need, but it also is a part of our journey, it's a part of our lesson, it's a part of what we sign up for. Okay, so you may say, but I'm a good person. Why am I always attracting men who abuse me and use me? Because there is something inside of you that needs to be healed to see yourself as valuable and to see yourself as worthy. And so you, in engaging in these relationships and not leaving before, or when you discover that this person's abusive, you are saying to yourself, it is okay for me to be abused, and this is comfortable, this is okay, this is normal. And that is the energy that is there, that is going ahead and pulling in. Meanwhile, that is not what you truly want in your conscious mind. I know that's a lot. Let that settle in. So we wrestle not with flesh and blood, but principalities and powers and rulers of darkness in high places. That means that this that you are working through is not earthly. You may look at yourself and you're like, I am so beautiful. Why is it I'm not attracting anyone? It is because of the energy. It is because of the vibration. It's because of what you are emitting. And until you recognize that everything starts from the inside and then it flows to the outside, and then in order to effect change, you gotta start and clean the inside, then you will still be walking around the walls of Jericho for 40 years and going. Now, you can book a session to work with me and I can help you clarify that. Or you can keep watching my video and just making sure you write down all these little nuggets and apply them. And if you want to wait 40 or more years or a lifetime, you can do that, or you can book a session with me. But anyways, I hope this was helpful. And let's start with love. So the first thing is, what does love mean to you? Does it mean that he takes out the garbage? That is not love. That's an action word. That is him being kind. Okay? Does it mean that he sees you come home from work and had a long day and he's like, oh, I'll go cook dinner and put your feet up? That is not love. That is kindness. That is an action word. So what really is love? Love is when that person treats you like how they would treat themselves. And it doesn't mean that you don't have to tell them. It means that also you are in such a space of safety and peace that you're not afraid of speaking up and asking for what you want. I'll say that again. It is being in a place of safety and peace where you're not afraid of speaking up and asking for what you want. And because when you are love is like you're on that same vibration in the spirit realm. So you sometimes don't even have to say anything because that person anticipates your need before you even ask. Like you're in sync. I will think about things that I'm gonna say, oh, I'm gonna ask my husband for, and then I come home and it's done, or he just does it, and I let him know, oh my God, babe, I appreciate that. So start with that, right? What does love look like for you? What is love to you? What does it mean to be loved? Not for you to love. What does it mean to you to be loved? And start from there. And let me know in the comments what you think. Aloha, malama pono. Until next time, mahalo.